I'm really proud of you
Thank you, my
because
love.
you're killing it right now.
Thank you.
You have a hit show, Toxic, that's streaming on HBO, or
Yeah.
rather Max. It's Max now.
Yes, yes.
And listen, you've had a long time in this business. You've got Bird Bakery, a number of accomplishments to your name, not just, well, actually a ton. But
Thank you.
Toxic seems really like the perfect project for you simply because you have your own experience and also investigative journalism.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is my dream job. This is literally my dream job. Are you going to tell the people how long we've known each other and
Oh,
what our history is?
let's get into that right away because
Tell the
talk about
people.
before we get to the show, let's discuss how we know each other. So I want to say it's, well, 2000, was it 8?
2008, I think. Sorry,
We lived across from the Chateau Marmont and the body shop, mind
Yep.
you. Is that
Yep.
still there?
Do you remember when I caught on fire?
Yes, I remember. The
And
strip club, the body shop, was our neighbor, and we torched it. No, we didn't, but
no,
it caught on
it
fire.
caught on fire, and the fire department was there working overnight. I brought them ice blendeds from Coffee Bean to like
No
thank them for their
way.
service, and they're like, "We just wanted to save your home." I'm like, "No, no, no. I don't work here. I just really appreciate the fact that like you put the fire out."
They
But
thought you were.
they
I
thought that, I
Yeah,
mean, why else? Who else is bringing, ice blendeds? But that was
right.
so, it was crazy. It felt like very close. Like it felt like it could have gone right across the street and burned down our little bachelorette pads, which is what Harper was for us.
The
It was
Harper
Harper
House.
Street.
So I
Harper
met
House.
you. I know we were kind of coming up in the same business, but were you at the time? Had you just moved from San Antonio? Like, what was that
No,
background all about?
right. No, so I was born in San Antonio. I moved from San Antonio when I was 2, maybe 3, and then grew up in Northern California, Colorado, went to school at UT. And then I actually, even though I went to UT, I kept an apartment in LA all through college. So when I was 19, I moved to LA
What
and
were
then was
you
back and forth.
doing? Yeah, yeah. What brought you to LA? Were you modeling?
I was modeling, but my first like job was, like my first internship was at Access Hollywood. So I
That
was
was
19 when I was started Access Hollywood. And
I
that's
was
why I had to be
actually.
there. Were
That's
you
just too
there?
funny because, well, yeah, when I was 23 years old, I was going back and forth, but between Palm Springs, where I was a feature reporter at the CBS out there, the
Yeah.
affiliate, and Access Hollywood, like back and forth, back and forth. So you always wanted to get into entertainment news.
No, I never wanted to be in entertainment news. Like I always wanted to be in hard news.
Got it.
So
So why
even,
not go to Access?
well, exactly. Yeah. Hard hitting news happening over there. No, I mean, listen, it was really a crazy story. This is like, I haven't not told many people this story, but when I knew it was like right before, end of my senior year, and I was modeling at the time, and we had a fashion show in Aspen and did this like Fendi show. I opened the Fendi show. It was really exciting. And my parents always told me like, stay back and learn every part of the business. So all of the girls took a shuttle back to the hotel, and no, sorry, all the girls took cars back to the hotel. And my mom and dad told me to stay back and like learn how to pack the shoes up, learn how to hang the clothes up. And I was just so annoyed because I'm like, whatever. I just was like kind of feeling myself,
Yeah, you're
And
like,
then,
I'm a model.
and then
I'm walking,
no,
not packing.
correct. And then they were like, no, 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 you stay. So I stayed and packaged the shoes, helped them pack the clothes, and I got in a shuttle to go back to our hotel. And there was a guy on the shuttle, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just walked in this fashion show, and then I stayed for 2 hours to help them clean up." Um, and he said, "What are you doing in the fall?" I said, "I'm going to University of Texas. I'm studying journalism." And he said, "I'm an entertainment lawyer in LA. I have a lot of clients." His name is Frank Smith. And he said, "If you need any help," and it was like 0% creepy, just like so helpful. "Here's my phone number." Put his phone number in his lift ticket. I called him and I was like, "Hi, this is Elizabeth. I met you in the shuttle." He represented Pat O'Brien at the time, and
Oh
like a
my,
whole, like, and Ed Wilson, the president of NBC, like all these people. So because I stayed back and helped with the shoes and helped with the clothes, I had this like amazing God moment connection that really like it opened my door, the first door to my career. And it was
it's
so
yeah.
crazy. And I'm sure you have story, like everyone has a story like that, but I just think it's such great advice in terms of like telling your kids to stay back and, do the work, but then also like believing in the fact that everything happens exactly like it's supposed to.
So it's a really, really great point, and something that we ask all the guests now is sort of like a opportunity that passed you by or a role that you may have missed that would have totally changed the game for you? And so I guess this is one of those that you got that changed the game for you. But on conversely, what's something that you almost got that would have impacted you, and how would it have changed your life?
I mean, I don't know. I think kind of similar to you, right? We started in news. So I had an offer right out of school. I had an offer to come to LA, or to like after my internships, to actually take my first real job, which was Channel 1. And then that became Current TV. But at the same time, I had a job for a lot more money to go do weather, which who knew you don't have to be a meteorologist? That was news to me. I was like, I'm not a meteorologist. They're like, that's fine. To do the weather in Houston.
Oh, no way. You were started in weather?
I didn't, but that was that moment. That was like that sliding glass door moment, right? Of like, I have this opportunity to come to LA to do like Channel 1, which was news in high schools. And then that became Current. Or I could go to Houston and do the weather for a lot more money. So that was like
did Channel 1 then.
So I came for Channel 1, and then right after I graduated a semester early to come start that job, it became Current TV. So Channel 1 closed, and then Current TV opened. About
I remember
a year later.
Maria Menounos did it.
Yeah, Maria Menounos, Anderson Cooper, Serena Ochel, Lisa Ling, like all of those amazing journalists who really had like that first like voyeuristic approach. I mean, all my heroes.
She's not just pretty. Very intelligent. Also, well, the fact that you graduated early as well, like who's doing that? I was partying.
But you knew what you wanted to do, right? I think like that's half the battle. Same. When I was 3 years old, I knew what I was going to do. Like I was like, I'm going to interview people and tell stories. Like, and you know, I think that's literally more than half the battle, because then you can get started on that path sooner than later. And I wanted
to ask you, like, what do you remember from the 2008s or whatever in Hollywood? Because for me, it was so much partying. Were you a big partier?
I wasn't. Like I was like, I didn't drink till I was 21. And then, you know, while you were partying, I was like baking cookies. Like that was my therapy. I caught up for it later, like post-divorce. I definitely have gone through a phase. But like, no, I was so weird. Like I was weirdly competitive. I'd be like, good, everyone go out. I'm just going to get ahead. Like I was such an annoying person. Like I probably would have been annoyed with myself. I was like so driven, and I felt like that was a distraction, but I would compulsively bake cookies when I came home. And I always say that my TV career can be attributed like 30% talent and maybe 70% bribery. Cause you know, like we were hustling, like we were auditioning, and I would bomb an audition and then like bring them monster cookies the next day. And then I got a call back. Yeah, I'd like bribe them for sure.
Oh, wait, this is such great information. Amazing tips. I love it. Yes. I never baked anybody anything. That explains everything.
I mean, I think you've done better than I have. So whatever you're doing worked. You just relied on purely talent.
Wait, here's the deal. So the fact that let's flash forward to today, right? Because you got toxic. Did they come to you, or did you really campaign for that job?
This is, again, like, I know I'm such a God person and like everything happens for a reason.
I believe it.
Everything is just magic, in my opinion. Like, so Jason Sarlanis was a producer. So after Current went under, Current was like 4 years, had a great run, and then it went away. So it was kind of really ahead of its time, right? Because it was YouTube before YouTube. It was viewer created content, which is what we were doing. After that happened, the only job I could get was in entertainment reporting, which is always like the opposite of what I wanted to do. I was just like, we don't really have facts. We're speculating on people's lives. This is not like telling stories that are based in truth. So I was really not super, super happy that the only job I could get was at E. I mean, I was grateful for the opportunity, but they knew that like I wanted to be like breaking into prisons in Vietnam. Like I wanted to do that stuff. Right. And Jason Sarlanis at the time was my producer at E. He's now president of Discovery Networks. And he came to my agent and said, I know I know what she's wanted to do her whole life. And I know that there's an opportunity here for her to do it. What kind of show does she want to do that's meaningful and like feeds her soul, that, you know, is based around what she's experienced the last 4 years of her divorce and the last 4 years of her life. And Jason really gave us like free reign. It was so interesting because you know how this is. Like usually we're the ones that are coming to the production companies and like auditioning for them, right? It was such an interesting position to be on the other side of the table, where the network was like, here are 12 production companies. You know, these are the ones we like, but you interview all of them. Where I got to choose a production company and I got to choose like the show. Yeah, I'm
You're
an
a
executive
producer,
producer on it. Mm-hmm.
executive producer. You
Yeah.
created the show together.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the show existed before I hired the production company, because of Jason and because of like, again, thank God we've been in this business for 112 years because he knew what I always wanted to do. And he was like, create, like, this is what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? And we really, at first we didn't know if it was going to be about like toxic relationships of friendships or the workplace. Like we really workshopped it to be what it is today.
So
But
much more gratification knowing how successful it is and how many
exactly.
lives you're touching. And I don't mean that in like a dorky way, but when people are, because I watched one of the episodes, it was fantastic
Thank you.
in the sense that I could understand what warning signs are there. And when people become more aware of it, like even with Dateline and things you hear people talking
Mm-hmm.
about, yeah, like you're like, oh, well, it was on TV. It doesn't happen every day. But the truth is, these things are happening regularly, these
Right.
toxic relationships. So I think bringing it to the forefront is really important for people to see,
Absolutely.
especially today where there's like people meet through dating apps, mostly, it feels
Right.
like.
No, for sure.
Be aware, like look at
Yes.
the red flags. And so, what are those?
I mean, listen, yeah, going back to even like we were saying earlier, it's like on the news right now with P. Diddy, like it's rampant. And I think like that is the key is identifying those warning signs. Like number one warning sign, in my opinion, and this is something that you can figure out on the first date, is ask about their ex, what's your longest relationship? Why did you guys break up? And if they completely like speak super poorly of every ex they've ever had. She was an alcoholic. She was crazy. If they don't take any responsibility or accountability for the end of previous relationships, that is such a red flag. And there are like major red flags, but I always say like start with that one because that's first date conversation. And people are like, oh, I don't want to ask about his relationships on a first date. Girl, save yourself the time, energy, and money and like emotion and just get that out of the way. Like, I don't think that's inappropriate to ask on the first date. Like, what was your longest relationship and like why did it end?
That seems fair to me.
Right. And if they completely like have a character assassination of one person or all their exes, huge red flag. Number two, moving really quickly. Like I love more than anyone, but like, and I'm
I
like
do
probably a
too.
love bomber. Like I
I love
probably, you know,
I love it
but
so much. I think we have similar personality types. I know
yes.
it's the best.
Yes, it's the best feeling. It's like those like high school butterflies, like love. Like what if people are like, don't jump in too quickly because whatever. I'm like, but that's the juicy. That's the good stuff. That said, there are people that do that in a manipulative way, not just like to show their love. And so love bombing, moving super quickly, moving in really quickly. Like a lot of times if the guy wants to move into your house really quickly, that's something that we really noticed was a pattern. And really their circle of friends, like most narcissists or people who want to coercively control you. And there's so many different ways of controlling, right? There's financial control. There's emotional control. There's fertility control. There are men that really want to get women pregnant and incapacitate them. I mean, it's wild. There's so many different levels of control. But they often don't have a large circle of friends and they don't want you to either. So, it's like, really, it's normal when you first start dating someone, if you're really into each other, like meet my friends, let's go out with our friends, let's go out with your friends. When that does not happen and that step is skipped, that's a huge red flag.
Interesting.
There's so many.
Obviously, listen, you have your own life experiences and you had a very public relationship and then divorce, but were you worried kind of doing the press for this?
The impetus for the show was when I was going through my divorce and I started looking at my kids, right? Like divorce in of itself is trauma. And you have two beautiful babies, not babies anymore, but two beautiful children. And that the last thing, and we've talked about this socially, the last thing you ever want to do is inflict trauma on your children, period. End of story. Well,
Right.
Knowing that divorce in of itself is trauma, I was like, okay, I am making the decision to leave my marriage, which in turn is going to traumatize them just by purely existing as a divorce. So what can I do to mitigate that trauma? And I spoke to every family separation therapist for 9 months that I could, from the Hasidic Jewish specialist on the Upper East Side to a woman in Norway to a woman in Russia, literally everything I could find. And then obviously a lot of local ones here. But they don't know me. They don't know my kids. They didn't know the situation. But for me, it was I'm just going to take as much as I can and learn from it. And in that process, I learned so much about generational family trauma, about patterns. And for me, I didn't have any sort of domestic violence situation or anything like that. But, I just looked at my kids. I'm like, would I want my daughter to be in a relationship where she's being betrayed? No. Do I want my son to betray someone? No. And so it was simply the betrayal, but really, again, stopping those patterns, which made it so important for me. And so that's why I became so obsessed with telling these stories. So yes, like, obviously in the press for it, people want something juicy. They want some gossip. They want us to throw mud at each other and say unkind things. But the fact of the matter is our kids are everything. And like, I'm just not ever going to do that. And hopefully I can, like, it's been 5 years. We are like super close, co-parents, friends. Honestly, I think we're probably like together more than a lot of married people. I mean, the kids are with me all the time. They live at my house. Army has a key to my house. He's welcome to come and go, whether we're here or not. Like, it is very much, other than sleeping here, it's very much like exactly how I would design it if I could. So it's frustrating when people try to create drama because there's not any drama.
Wow. That's incredible
Yeah.
that you are at that place. I think people who are going through their own divorces might look in and go like, how'd she do that? Do you think it was all the therapy?
I think it was therapy. I think it was also like, listen, it would be a very different situation if we didn't have children. I'd be like probably angry and whatever. But like, it's at the end of the day, like we don't need any girls with daddy issues. We don't need kids growing up, without their dad. They need their dad, and they need to have the family that we like promised them. And so I think at the end of the day, if you like remove ego and remove anger and do the work, I think anyone, and it's a safe place for the kids to be, I think anyone can get there. Like, I really do. It's just like, it's not about you. It's not about you. And I know divorce can feel so much like it's about the person going through it, but it's really not. Like, it's all about the kids because they did not choose this.
I think if you can put them, listen, I was never in that position where we've, gone through divorce, but there've been times where I've looked at it and gone,
you guys are
if there were divorce papers right here, I could definitely sign them. But you are such an amazing mom. I know you put your kids first. I see it.
Too, yeah.
And you've moved so many times with them, just probably trying to recreate, make the right life for them. Are you staying put now in LA?
Yes, of course. I mean, the Cayman Islands was so interesting because we went there during COVID. And so I was like, there's no COVID there. They basically locked down the island. So there was no, like, there weren't really masks. There wasn't really like, online learning. And so we stayed, and then we stayed while we were going through the divorce because there's no paparazzi. So paparazzi is illegal there. I think you go to jail for like 4 years is what I've heard if you sell a picture or something.
The whole family went there, all of you guys?
I was there with the kids. Army was kind of in and out doing his thing.
Okay.
But like my biggest thing was just protecting the kids from headlines or unkind words, as kids get older and you don't know what kids are going to say on the playground. I just wanted to do the work in a space that was safe and protected, which is
Did you like it there?
It's so beautiful. It's amazing. And it's such a great place to raise kids. But it was time to come home. I know how to do two things, and that's television shows and run restaurants. I did both those things there. And then I was like, you're in a different country, you need like work permits. And I just knew like inevitably, like our life was just on hold here. So it was time to come back, and they were really ready. And I kept saying, I'm in the Caymans for my kids, because they're so happy. And then last summer, it was like 12 days before school started. We were in LA, and they're in surf camp and horseback riding camp. And they're like, Mom, we want to move home. Like, we don't want to, we're ready. And I was like, thank you, Lord. Also could have used a little more heads up to get you into schools.
Right.
But like, it was not that I let kids like dictate what we do, but it was really on their terms. They're ready.
You're better than I am. I'd be like, get in the car, we're going. No, but that's so wonderful. And obviously, you want them to be happy.
Of course. You're only as happy as your least happy child.
I know. Isn't it crazy? Mm-hmm. The things that we put up with also with them. You have the bakery, which now is in several cities.
Yeah. Yeah. I started our first location in San Antonio 13 years ago in 2012. And now we're in Dallas. We're in Highland Park Village in Dallas. We're in Denver. I opened in the Cayman Islands, like a seasonal spot. And then Houston and Austin will be next.
And so that they just run themselves. You don't even have to be there.
No, no, I know they definitely don't run themselves. I wish I have an amazing team, but like I don't have to.
Okay.
I'm there. Like I'm there. I just came back 4 days ago from our San Antonio location. I'm there a lot because it is like, again, it's like your baby, right? It's like the show is my baby. The bakery was my first baby before my kids. It's wonderful, when I'm not there, but when I am there, it's like so much more meaningful. And
What do you think about, I'm just going to throw a couple like questions at
yeah,
you right now in regards to like finding dates and what, do you believe in online dating and like the apps?
so I've never been on an app and I've never online dated. Although I did meet my current boyfriend online. He like slid into my DMs. So
I
that
was
was
going
my
to
first,
ask,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So he so I don't know. I don't know. Everyone says like online dating is such a nightmare, but people also say dating is a nightmare. And I honestly love it. Like I don't understand what the big complaint is. Like I think it's the most fun ever. Like I love this whole process. I have met so many people like in the wild that I've dated and have seen. Like I don't understand why everyone I think the difference is, and let's be real, I think the difference is like I had my wedding, I had my marriage, I have my kids, I have my career. So there's not like this ticking time
Right.
for me. So I think that's why I enjoy it because there's no pressure. Like if we're being really honest, that's probably the difference when people say like I can't stand it, it's so hard. There's like because they're looking, and I don't think I have been looking, which is why it feels easy. It's like again like laws of the universe. Um,
Always. It's what you're
but
holding on tightest to that it's like you never get. That's it's just like
exactly.
release a little bit, give some room to breathe, and
Yes,
it
and like put
happens.
that energy out of like receiving instead
But
of
also, you've worked so much on yourself as far as developing yourself as a person
that's true.
that really somebody can just like kind of pop in and you can be great partners. Whereas somebody's, you know what I'm saying? Like how
A
there's a
hundred
half
percent.
circle and a half circle looking to complete each other. It's better to be your own full circle and then overlap with someone.
I completely agree. And you know exactly what your boundaries are, what you are interested in, what you're not. Like I think 100%. That's a really good point. Which is why if people are dating or looking to date, like I'm like focus on yourself and the rest will come. But every single episode of season 1, they met on a dating app. I'm trying to think. No, not every single one. One, it was her doctor who did oral surgery. But the other 3, they met on a dating app. And when I asked our survivors, I said, you saw this happen. Didn't you think this? Or didn't you think of this? And you know what they all said?
What?
They said, no, I was just so happy he chose me.
Oh, oh,
And
that's so
that
sad.
really makes me think about how we've really done a disservice to women in our culture because we've created this pick me culture, right?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
like
Well, look at,
17 and yeah,
I
like
mean, look at the shows. You look
right.
at The Bachelor. It's like me, and you're competing with everybody for one man's attention, or vice versa, even.
Exactly. Whereas like why are your boundaries allowing you to even kiss a man that kissed somebody the night before?
Right.
Like media feeds us this. Like remember when we were growing up, it was like Cosmo and 17. It's like learn to give the best blowjob so he puts a ring on it. No,
Yeah.
bitch. Learn to give a blowjob because you want to. Don't
Yes.
do it for the
Yes.
ring. Like,
Yes.
you know?
Oh my God, it's
Um,
so true.
it's so true. And so it made sense. Like I'm speaking to all these women, they're like, I was just so happy he picked me. So they are willing to overlook all of these red flags, all of these inconsistencies, all these lies, and like really alarming conversations that were had even before things happened because they were just so happy to be chosen.
Oh,
Um,
that
so
hurts me to hear for these
I
poor
know,
women
I
who've
know.
probably been, had dealt with so much crap throughout their lives, especially with dating. I mean, it's not easy for everyone, let's face it. If you
No.
could build like the perfect guy, are you dating him right now, by the way? But if you could build the perfect guy, what's important for you?
I think trust. I mean, after everything, that I went through in my marriage, like trust is, and that's why he is like, he's so perfect in so many ways. But I trust him 100%. And I cannot say that. First of all, I didn't think that existed. Like if anyone told me they trusted me at 100%, I'd be like, girl, dumb.
Not
That is
possible.
not
Right,
smart.
right, right.
I'd be like, that is not smart. But like, I didn't think it was possible to trust somebody 100%. Like I trust him 1,000,000%, which is, I like never thought I would say those words.
Yeah.
I
That's so
never thought I would
nice
say
for you.
it is. It's
Especially,
like,
yeah.
it's the most important thing. I mean, trust is all you have. And yeah, I mean, that's like, I didn't think it existed.
All right. So let me ask you because I hear the pop and I want to let you go because I feel bad that
It's
you've
okay.
been
Come.
taking so
No, don't
much
feel bad at
time.
all.
Uh, what's what's next? Are you at the point where it's all about doing what you're doing for a long time? Like, or is there this kind of pie in the sky bucket list job or different life that you want to live? Because you've had sort of like different eras of your life, as we all have, but yours seem very like cemented,
Yeah, for sure.
different
I mean,
eras. So,
well, listen, you and I both know, like, we just want a show that's on the air for 9,000 seasons. We love like, we love that job security, especially if it's like a show that you love the most, you know? I mean, in my dream world, if I were czar of the universe, I would keep doing this show, do another show that we have coming up that's like more of a game show called Murder and Cupcakes. Like that
it
show.
literally is.
I mean, we have it like, it's like knock on wood in the process of,
Oh my God. I was like,
yeah,
to literally Murder and Cupcake.
right?
That's
Yeah.
too good. Oh my God.
Um,
That's too good for the name alone.
Right? It's just imagine you're like always choose that on your TV. And then like honestly, I've always wanted to host a Today show, and I've worked in Today for 10 years as a correspondent or as a contributor. But I would love to do that. Although I love LA, so I say that, and I can never leave LA. So honestly, I'm just like so happy where I am now. I've always been such a goals person in terms of like, working towards this or working towards this, but those goals shift and they change. And never in a million years did I think again, like to be able to design a show that's so meaningful, that it affects so many people. Like my only wish at this moment is that we get a season 2 and a season 3, because we have so many stories to tell. I mean, we have an email address, and I'm getting 500 DMs with like horrific stories of these women have no voice. And, men have been in the same situations too. It's not just female. So really shedding light on these types of relationships, and hopefully, preventing them in the future. I want every single person to end our episodes saying, am I in this relationship? Is my sister in this relationship? Would my kids be in this relationship? Because a lot of times by the time people say something, it's too late. Like, and in episode 2, someone's dead. So, that's like, and that took 8 months for that to happen. So just really spreading awareness, and to see the response. It's like, it is almost an epidemic in terms of this just repeating itself. And if you don't stop these patterns, then they continue generation after generation, and our kids, will be are more likely to be subjected to that.
Yeah.
So
to end on a high note, I love seeing you.
I love seeing you. I need to see more of you.
I know this is a very full circle moment for us, because what I last remember, I mean, obviously I've seen you over the years, but when we were in the Harper house, it was the two of us in the gym talking about our new men.
Yes.
So there it is. And
you're still with your man.
I am, but don't think that we haven't had years of struggle. Plenty. So
y'all are so beautiful.
Now we just celebrated our 12-year wedding anniversary.
Amazing. But I love, keep it real, because like, it's not all a walk in the park. Like a marriage is the most difficult thing you'll ever do.
Totally.
Truly.
It's so hard and it's challenging. And like, but the thing is, I look at it and I think about living with roommates, right? Like my best friends or anybody, I would have already divorced them 5,000 times over. So the fact that we're still together and we can make it work, he's really good about, if we fight, like bring it in, hug it out. Like we need to get past this. I credit him with that.
I love that. No, it's so important. And like so much respect, because as you know, the statistics, like marriage is hard, divorce is hard, but sometimes marriage is harder. Who knows? But sticking it out and doing the work on yourself and doing the work together and having conversations that are real. That's another thing that was so shocking about the show, is I thought that every single one of our survivors would have had parents that did the same thing, that were attracted to toxic men, but it was quite the exact opposite. None of them had experienced adversity in their parents' marriage. Their parents were picture perfect. And I know, because I interviewed most of them. Like, leave it to Beaver. They had never seen an argument. They had never seen a fight. So they didn't know that existed.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Because,
your parents are still together as well?
No, my parents are not. But like most of the survivors of the show. Like,
that's so unusual. Especially since we're talking about generational trauma. You'd think you would fall down that same path, but
no, but it shows you that adversity is not only not the worst thing. Adversity is necessary for kids. So like, if you're fighting with your husband, you're actually giving your kids tools in their toolbox, as long as you're fighting like correctly, tools in their toolbox for how to deal with relationships. Because that was shocking to me. I mean, our parents' generation and their parents, they kind of brushed things under the rug and pretended like everything was fine. And that doesn't do anyone any good. So I just love how open and honest you are about your marriage. And I'm sure you're that way with your kids, because it isn't easy. And in every single challenge, like, just puts more tools in your toolbox and in your children's.
That's so
I'm
good
proud
to hear.
of
I
you,
feel a
baby.
lot less guilty right now
Oh, you
for
should
the
be.
yelling. Yeah. Okay. I love you. Am I going to see you? Would you ever have more kids or are you done?
I would have more kids, actually. I would. I mean, my boyfriend's
You're such a good
25,
mom.
and he like doesn't, I
Oh,
mean,
your
obviously,
boyfriend?
but he's
Who's
like a
20?
bit a mature 25. Like, he's mature 25.
I
But
would,
like,
by the way, hell yes. And I would never judge. It's stupidly cliche, but age really is a number. And wherever you find love, you find love. And if the
I
person's
agree.
amazing, that's, you look 25.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God,
just
thank
saying
you.
it. You look so young, you don't age. So
Yes.
why not? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, we have
Get
so much to
it,
discuss.
girl.
Let's get a night on the books before
I
summer
always like
starts.
the old, like, men with the salt and pepper hair, like Brad Pitt. Oh,
So
Brad
do
Pitt at 60 is like so much better. 61 to
Marissa
me.
too. Marissa and I talk about this all the
Oh,
time.
I
She's like,
love the old
"Give me the
men.
salt and pepper." I'm like, "Give me the abs."
Yes. No, no, no. Salt and pepper. A little stomach that shows that they're well taken care of. Like, I'm good
Please.
with that. Not
Okay, you can
you.
have that. That's
Not
all
you.
you, baby.
Now see, we would have never gone for the same guys.
Exactly.
All right, babe.
Exactly. All
Till
right.
next
Good to
time.
see
Thank
you.
you so much for coming by. I'm
Thank
glad we
you.
can make this work.
Okay.
Love you.
Love
Mwah.
you. Bye.
Bye.